Behind every thesis is a story of questions, pressure, persistence, and discovery. Welcome to Behind the Thesis with Yvonne Shabangu, where we unpack the real story behind research and thesis writing. From late-night writing sessions and supervisor feedback to breakthrough moments and academic wins. This podcast is all about the journey behind the pages. If you are a student, researcher, or academic trying to make sense of the thesis process, you are in the right place. Welcome.
Hello, you are welcome to another episode of Behind the Thesis. And today we are seated with Ngobile Mnisi, an aspiring doctor of psychology. And she is from the university. Is it up the road or down the road?
Listen, it's up the road. It's up the road.
It's down the road. That high school up there. Those who don't know.
That's another university.
Yeah, she is from the University of Witwatersrand. Popularly known for, like, there's that famous speech that we know from TikTok, Barry, a degree has been conferred upon you, but not just any degree, but a degree from that. Yes. Ngobile, thank you so much for honoring my invite. It's good to have you here. Tell us a bit about yourself, your area of specialization, what research are you currently focusing on before we go into our icebreakers. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I didn't prepare for this question, but it's a bit about myself. I never know how to answer this question, actually, because I'm so multidimensional. I never know which side of me to focus on. But in terms of my academic career, I did do my undergrad at Wits in psychology. Then I went on to do my honors as well in psychology at Wits. Then I did my master's in social and psychological research, which is just research psychology at Wits. And then I'm doing my PhD currently also at Wits. And my current area of focus is in AI creativity, AI and creativity. So I'm trying to see if AI is affecting our creativity as humans.
Okay.
That's what,
That is so cool, actually. I think you are the person we're looking for, because now with AI coming in, it's making research easier, but also we need to use it cautiously and all of that. So we're also going to go into a bit of that. So icebreakers, né? If you were to describe, if your thesis currently was a relationship status, what would it be and why? Single, married, it's complicated.
Emotionally unavailable.
Absent.
Right now, I'm emotionally unavailable. Listen, the past 2 weeks, I'm sure even the past month, it's still in the back burner. Like, I'm so overwhelmed with everything else. But look, I'm pushing. I need to submit my proposal, and I'm saying it out loud so it's on record.
Yes.
I'm submitting my proposal next month.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right.
Yeah, which is giving me just 3 months to write my proposal. On paper, I do have 6 months. I have until September, but the overachiever in me says...
you just want to push through.
I just want to push.
Okay, no, that's good. Because I think also when you push through, you also help yourself in that you don't know what your supervisor's schedule looks like. So if you wait for 6 months and then maybe they're not as available, so just the earlier, the better. And then what is that one phrase from your supervisor that haunts you?
My supervisor tries so hard, shame, not to haunt me. She's so soft with me. But I think the one thing I remember that still haunts me to this day, she was my supervisor for masters as well.
Okay.
There was a time I submitted my chapter for my results. Hey, that chapter was hard.
Okay.
I did all my results. I struggled with that regression that I had to do. She sent it back and said, "Oh, this is the wrong, this is the wrong analysis.
Really?
You need to redo the whole thing.
Wow.
The main analysis." That still haunts me to this day.
And how did you take that? Because, I mean, coming from a person who has a cum laude, a person who's an overachiever, and then you're told that the whole thing is incorrect, did that impact you in any way?
It did affect me. I mean, not that much, because she's the one that told me to use that regression. So it felt like, but she said this. But she was so sorry.
Okay.
She was so sorry. So it did feel... Yeah, she did lighten the load a bit, and I was like, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. In hindsight, I'm going to finish. I'm going to submit. This is just a small, obstacle.
What is your favorite way to procrastinate while pretending to be doing your research?
TikTok. I have a toxic relationship with that stupid app. I need to delete it off my phone. Definitely.
Do you ever take like TikTok breaks, or are you like just always on TikTok?
I will sleep at 2:00 being on TikTok.
Really?
I sleep the next day every single day
every day
because of TikTok.
No, I need to take your phone.
Please. Please.
Okay, and then one last one. What is that one academic unnecessary word that you use and you know it's unnecessary, but you use it in your research paper?
I try not to. I have words that annoy me, so I don't use them. So I'll mention the word that does annoy me. The nuances. I hate that word. Stop using that word.
Like we're all trying to sound
please stop
fancy and
using
smart,
that word.
like there's a nuance
I
in between.
hate it so much. Stop using it. So I don't use words that irritate me. I try to use different words here and there because it starts to annoy me when it's repetitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to take us through your honors year, master's year. What was your favorite chapter to write in your honors year and why? And then also in your master's year, what was your favorite chapter to write and why?
My honors year is a complete blur. You know how they say trauma just erases your memory?
Really?
So that's the year that I lost my brother to suicide. So I don't remember anything about how I got through that year, so I can't answer for that. But my master's, I can definitely answer for the results section. And my supervisor always says to me, start with methodology and the results. It's the easiest section to start with.
Okay.
Once you have that sorted, everything else is a breeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just brought us into part of the most important part of our conversation.
Yeah.
What methodology did you use different methodologies for your master's and currently for your doctorate, or is your methodology still the same? What informs that methodology and what are the alternatives if not the one that you're using?
So I'm a quants girl through and through.
Okay.
I love numbers. I believe in numbers because they're so objective. Like this is what it is. But I mean, I know there's downfalls to that. So for my honors, it was quantitative. For my master's, it was quantitative. For my PhD, mixed methods.
Okay.
Because quants has its cons as well. You can't just rely on numbers. The same as qual, you can't just rely on the narrative part of it. So yeah, the alternatives are mixed methods. Everyone should be doing mixed methods, I think. In 2026, I think qualitative alone is not enough. And I hate to say that quantitative also alone is not enough anymore.
So for people at home, right, a person who is still doing their undergrad and is shocked and confused about what is quantitative and what is qualitative, how would you break it down for them, laymen, and why do you pick what you pick? What are the advantages? Or like you just mentioned that you feel like people should use mixed methods. Why would that be your recommendation?
Gotta examine your research. But, I think I'll give you practical examples from my research. So my master's was focusing on, let me try to remember what my master's was on. But it was on the ecological validity of 3 working memory tests.
Okay.
So because those tests are standardized and there's a scoring methodology for them. So I was able to then use that and score them, and I had to use numbers because it's already standardized. I can't do narrative, I can't interview people for ecological validity. So if I wanted to then maybe ask the respondents how they felt about the ecological validity, I can then do qualitative if I want to know their lived experience. Like, do you feel like this questionnaire was asking the right questions? Do you feel like we could have asked this instead? That's when the qualitative parts would come in. So I was not very much interested in their lived experience and their perspective. I was just interested in the validity of the actual assessment, because then that determines whether or not we continue to use it, if other people need to adapt it and things like that. So that's when you decide. And then my current research, because AI, you can't just rely on quantitative, right? So I will be using standardized measures. I'm more interested in authorship and agency. I want to know if respondents feel like they own the work that they're putting into AI. So that's when I'm going to have focus groups to ask them about their lived experience. Do you feel like the information you're putting in is your information, or do you feel like ChatGPT is doing everything for you? So that's how you determine when you use quant, when you use qual. So it depends on your research questions, what your objectives are, and what you're trying to achieve from the study.
Okay. Yeah. And then you mentioned quite important parts of your you mentioned that you have to submit your proposal. I guess that's your objectives. The question of objectives and the main questions are still fresh in your mind. Why is it important to ask the right question? How do you even frame a research question to a person who says, I've got a topic, but I don't know how to frame my question or my objectives how do I go about that?
Yeah, I think because I have such a numbers brain, I think backwards. So I think of the analysis that I'm going to do, and then that informs the research question.
Okay.
So that's how I usually do it. Like if you're thinking of questions like relationship, you know that you're going to do a correlation. It automatically tells you that. If you're thinking of things like a predictor, you're already thinking of regression, already that is quantitative. But if you want to know someone's perspective, if that's what you want your research to be about, you want to talk to people, you want to find out their lived experience, their perspective, and all of that, that's when you use qualitative, and then that's what informs your research questions. So I think with qual, it's more flexible in how you ask your questions. You just make sure you don't use relationship words like association, regression, prediction. So that's how you define. Like quants, you know quants questions when you look at them. They use those words. Yeah, so that's how you choose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we look at quantitative, right, what numbers are we looking at? Are we looking at reports, the statistics, and all of that? What numbers are you looking at? And how do you, so you know with qualitative, you've got interviews. What's the other one? There's the one that we use where it's books. You just theoretical, what is it called? In law, we don't use, it's a qualitative, but there's a specific one that we use in law where we just look at case law, you look at books. We don't do interviews most of the time when you look at research in the legal industry. If you're a doctor of law, so we use textbooks, we use case law, and then we use legislation, and then we also use government gazettes and stuff like that. We have primary sources and secondary sources, but it's usually written documents. It's never let's sit down and talk, because we say that's not codified. We say it's not valid. So what you guys use as valid information for us lawyers, we're like, how do I trust that you're telling the truth? So we look at more on what's codified and what's already law. So when you're looking at your quantitative, what numbers are you looking at? What databases are you looking at?
So it depends on the research that you're doing, obviously. But there's a lot, like in psychology specifically, there's a lot of normed psychometric assessments. So that's the numbers that we're looking at. You can have like an assessment that they score you, and then you get like a certain amount, a certain score. And then like if you get a higher score, it means that, let me give an example, like a working memory test, right? They'll ask certain questions. They're usually in subdomains. One domain will focus maybe on your retention, one will focus on this part, one will focus on that part, and then if you get it right, you'll get like a 1 or a 0 if you get it wrong, and then we score that together, and then we can then look at this subdomain and say, okay, in this subdomain your scores are this high, in this subdomain your scores are this low, and then this is the total. And then if you want to see if there's a relationship between working memory and maybe let's say an assessment on attention, right? You do the same thing, you get those scores that you get. Usually you need to standardize them because when you do analysis, you need to make sure that they meet certain, can't think now on the spot what the word is, but assumptions, that's the word. They need to meet certain assumptions before you can actually do the analysis. So you need to clean the data, make sure that you can work with both, compare both data sets, analyze them together, and then you can see if there's an actual relationship between those two assessments. So that's how we would use data.
And do you guys have a specific reference style?
In psychology, we use APA 7th edition.
I've never even heard of that. What is it?
It's American Psychological. It's psychology.
Okay.
So we use it,
Do you guys also footnote when you write, or you just...
I'm not even sure if it's a preference thing or not, because I've never used footnotes before.
Really?
I don't even know how to...
Because we... like footnotes are a lot. You can, like, out of, let's say in the 3 years or in the 5 years you do your doctorate, you could easily have 3 months of footnotes. Like footnotes are a lot. Like I envy you guys.
Referencing is actually my weakest skill. Hey? Like really? I'm so horrible at it. Zotero, all of those softwares, I don't know how to use them. Well, I've never tried and I'm not interested to learn. So I do it manually. I will go on Google Scholar. I will put my article. I will find the citation. I will copy and paste it, put it back into my, and then sort them.
But doesn't that take a lot of time?
It does, but rather that, I'm better the devil I know.
Yes, no, I hear you. I hear you. Sometimes learning something you can actually throw you off, right? So the other day you mentioned, I think I saw it on your status, WhatsApp status, right? Where you're talking about how it was so, I don't want to get to the story yet, but to a person who's looking for funds to fund, because you're one of the few people that I know that have their doctorate funded at an early stage. Because usually for you to be funded for a doctorate, it's usually you must have submitted your proposal. There must be something that's tangible, but with you, that's a different case. How did you get to have funding? Is it funding that you started with from your honors yet? Please take us through that.
So I'm funded by WITS. It's called the Postgraduate Merit Award. So you don't even apply for it.
Okay.
If you get an average of over 75 for your master's, they give it to you. So you don't even have to actively apply for it. But it's not that much. It only covers tuition.
Okay.
And then you get a stipend as well per block. So a block is a term. And you have to do marking, invigilating, and then that's how you get paid.
Okay.
So it isn't that much. I will be also applying for different bursaries like NRF.
Okay.
I did have NRF for my honors and my masters.
How did you, please give us, how did you apply for it? Because a lot of people say it's a tough, long application
it is.
and it's quite tedious.
They rejected me for my PhD the first time I applied, but in hindsight, I understand why they had to do it. But you just need patience, hey? And use AI. I use AI to help me with that application. I say, this is what they're asking, what must I say? You just need patience. You know, it's not difficult, but...
So you were able to use AI to assist you and you prompted it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that
No,
makes
I don't
sense.
even prompt. I'll take a picture of what's on my screen and say, answer these questions. I don't have time to
But
be
now,
typing.
I'm going to take you back to your research question. Is AI enhancing our creativity?
That's
or
not
is
creativity, just give me answers. I'm not trying
But
to be
now
creative.
it's taking away your opportunity to think.
I don't want to think. I want the funding. I don't want to think. Look, some things I can think for, but things like this, please, hey, I just want to answer.
I hear you. I hear you. No, that makes sense. Okay. So so that we can motivate people at home, right? Because I know that school can be quite a lot. So when you're looking at the stipend, where does it range usually?
It's 6.7. I'll just give you straight figures. It's 6.7.
6.7 a month?
Yeah. No, a term. So you see what I'm saying? It's not that much.
No, it's not a lot.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Well, it's something.
But it's free money. It's free money
that
that you wouldn't be getting.
True.
So that's the great part of it. But NRF is where the money is at.
Yes, I've heard.
Yeah,
I mean, the application, you work for your money. You work for every cent. Okay, no, guys, which means work hard, play hard. Then you will get the bursaries that you need to get. You have a crash out. I thought I was a crash out person, but no, you crash out proper.
Every single day I have a crash out.
Like proper crash out. So I think this is the heart of our conversation, because I've seen a lot of people go through this. It's either they have a supervisor that's ghosting them, or they have a supervisor that's not supportive, or they have a topic that they're struggling to move forward with and they don't know what to do and they don't know how to move forward. So I want you to take us through where your first, because right now you make a decision to drop out, and then you decide again, okay, you know what, I'm a big girl, let me do this again. Take us through the first time you decide to go for your PhD, and then your experience, and then events leading to you deciding to deregister, and then events again leading to you re-registering. Yeah.
So because I'm such a go girl, right? As soon as I finished my master's, I wanted to apply for my PhD straight away without a break, because I haven't taken a break in my other degrees. And then I messaged my master's supervisor. I was like, I want to apply for my PhD now. Can you help me? Can you supervise me as well? And she said, no, I think you should take a break. Relax just a bit. And I was like, no, I don't want to relax. Like, I just want to get this over and done with, right? Yeah. And then eventually I was like, you know what, let me just take a break. It was in the middle of the year. With your PhD, you know, you can apply at any time of the year, right? So I submitted it around March, and then I graduated July, and I wanted to apply already and start that same year. And then the following year, I was doing, when did I finish my master's? I think 2023. And then 2024, I was doing my internship, right? Which was the year I wanted to apply. So that whole year, I was working. It was the first time I didn't have academic pressure, and that's what I didn't want, because I was like, I'm going to be so comfortable not having academic pressure that going back into academia is going to be so difficult. Yeah. Right? So I was messaging people on the side asking, can you supervise me? I want to apply. And there were quite a few people that said, we can supervise you. And then when the time came,
nowhere to be found.
No, they said their research interests have changed. They're not interested in that anymore. And also, there was a supervisor that was very interested in supervising me. We had actually gone through the whole process. I was going to apply. She was going to help me. This was during my internship. This goes back to, I don't even know if I'm a people pleaser or I don't know, right? Because
I'm questioning your decision-making
This was giving
skills.
a people-pleasing thing because during that year when I was doing my internship, I wanted them to keep me, right?
Okay.
So I wanted to do a PhD that was aligned with the work that they do.
But
I was
not
not
what you
interested
love.
in it. Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
So I was like, you know what? It's just for them to keep me. Let me just do this PhD. And then
And you're willing to commit
I was
3
willing
to
to
5 years
commit,
of your life for
imagine.
something you don't even love?
And then we would have meetings with that potential supervisor. My boss at the time would lead those meetings about my topic. I
It's like, no, this is not how it works.
And
Yeah.
then they did give me an offer, and the amount they're willing to give me, I was like,
Like,
I'm
it's
leaving
really not
completely.
gonna
It's
work.
really not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? And then fast forward, the year I graduated from my master's, I posted my pictures on LinkedIn, grades, and then someone slid into my DMs, an associate professor. She's like, lovely pictures. Would you be interested in opportunities? So I go to her profile. I'm like, this person's credentials. She's a director for a research institute, associate professor at Wits, and
She's got a
listen,
good
she's where I want to
CV.
be.
Yes.
Right. And I was so excited. I was like, no, definitely, we can talk. The signs are always there. She would take she came to me, but the responses.
She'll take long. How long? What is long?
You'd have to keep coming back and following up. Because
Okay.
she said I must email her. I emailed her. She said nothing for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And now I don't like being a nuisance. I'm not going to keep following up. If I've said something, when I respond, I'm not a follow-up person.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's time. And
Yeah.
then I'd go to her and say, okay, please check your emails. She's like, no, I haven't seen your email yet. Let me go and check. Then she's like, okay, I see your email. Hey, she was always seeing my email. She's always on her phone. So she definitely saw my emails. But anyway, it's fine. The signs were there. I applied with her anyway. It was difficult even getting through the concept paper and applying. But I finally applied. I got accepted January.
Okay, please hold on because I see that there may be a difference in how we apply for doctorates. You mentioned, what is a concept paper?
So it depends on your faculty. Not all faculties have a concept paper. And I found out that all of that was a waste of time. Health sciences didn't even need a concept paper.
Okay, so what does that look like?
So
what is a concept paper?
It's a mini proposal,
Oh,
basically, just to tell them that
okay,
this is
we
the
call
study
it a
you want to
mini
do.
proposal.
Yeah. So then what they do at Wits is that they find a supervisor for you based on your interest. So they look at your concept paper and say, okay, this is who's interested in this. Do you want to then supervise the students?
Okay.
So with my current PhD, because I had already someone in mind, I had to just write on my concept paper. For psychology, you do need a concept paper. So I wrote that, okay, this is the supervisor that I actually want. And then it went in, they reviewed it, and then they accepted me because I already had a supervisor.
Okay.
So if my concept paper didn't have a supervisor, they were going to find someone for me and then appoint that person.
Or they were going to match you.
Yeah, they were going to match
So
me
even
with
if
that
you
person.
don't have a supervisor in mind, you will likely get a supervisor anyway.
If there's someone interested and has capacity, I think
Okay.
it's better to have someone on the inside that you know will accept, because they won't take you.
Okay, so the best thing is always to reach out to someone first.
And tell
then
them, ask them, do you have capacity? Are you interested in this topic? Would you be interested in supervising me? Here's my transcript, here's my CV, so they can also see your work ethic as well.
Yeah.
And then they can make their decision from there. Because when it goes into the department, then they're able to say, okay, I'm willing to supervise this person. I know this person. We're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you submit the concept paper. It was a waste of time and
then I got accepted. And then when you get accepted, you have 6 months to do your proposal.
okay.
Hey, I did my part. I really tried. Hey, I did my part. I would do my, and then we were supposed to have meetings every 2 weeks. That didn't last. I'm sure we had 3 meetings at most. I mean,
So two meetings. So you guys were supposed to have bi-weekly meetings.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a prerequisite from the
no, it was her
university?
suggestion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, she overpromised and
Yeah.
underdelivered. Okay.
It was her suggestion. So
Because I was about to say, well, that as far as I know, you talk to your supervisor once a month, once in 3 months.
It's a preference thing. I think you tell him your expectations also in the beginning. If it works for you, you say, okay, we can do this. But she came with that expectation.
Okay.
And I was like, perfect, that works for me for the type of person that I am. I'm such a go person. So
Yes, like
I
proactive.
need to have work every 2 weeks to show you. So that worked for me. And I would have work every 2 weeks. But there wouldn't be any meeting. And then it took me more than 6 months to finally finish my proposal. She wouldn't read it when I sent her sections, and it was her suggestion that I send her live documents so that when she finds time, she goes through it per section instead of me sending like a whole document, and now she's too overwhelmed, she can't go through the whole thing. But she didn't even go through those sections, and then I sent her the whole thing when I was done.
Okay.
She was like, I'm going to need you to change half of this. This is not what we agreed on. And I'm just like,
okay, but
agreed on based on what? Because we have never spoken, and what I have is what we had last spoke about. And then she was changing things, saying, no, change this, do this now, do this. And I was like, you know what, it's fine. I don't have a fighting spirit right now.
Yeah.
I just want to get through this PhD, did my part. Then I had to go and present I had to present my proposal in front of a panel, right?
did you also have to, because I know other institution you defend the proposal?
That's basically defending.
Then you
presenting
defend.
is defending it.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So the day comes. And I had 2 supervisors, right? Her and another one in the psychology department. She was my co-supervisor. Day of my defense.
And why did you have 2 supervisors?
Because she was on the psychology side, so she could help me more with the psychology assessments, and her PhD was similar to what I had. So she was going to be able to assist me with that.
So you needed 2 experts for your...
Well, I didn't need them, but it was great that I have, an additional one.
Okay.
Yeah. So she didn't show up day of my presentation.
At all?
At all. No explanation, no apology.
But the panel was there?
No, the panel was there. My co-supervisor didn't show up. My supervisor was there, surprisingly. And, Shem, the defense went well.
Okay.
She was so excited. And she made me excited. She was like, oh, we're doing so great. We're going to meet every week now because now you must submit monthly.
and for people at home who are wondering what happens at defense proposal, please take us through that. The questions, like what's the feel?
They give you about 15 minutes, and then you do like a presentation, taking them through your research. I think you must focus mostly on your research questions, your objectives, and your methodology. That's all they care about. The other stuff, it's great to have, but it's a waste of time because it's very strict in terms of time.
Okay.
And then they'll ask you questions on things like ethics. Have you thought about this? Like my research previously was on teenage pregnancy, right? I wanted to look at mental health in pregnant teenagers. So questions that came up were things around ethics, because this is a young cohort. How are you going to access these kids? So questions around that, and then methodology, my sample. I had to then justify my sample, why I thought this was a good sample. Those are the type of questions that come up around your methodology mostly. So you need to know your story when it comes to methodology.
Methodology, research questions, and objectives.
And the analysis as well, that everything must connect. That's always the important part of research. Research questions, analysis, and now I forgot the last one I mentioned. But those 3 must all connect all the time.
All right.
And then, after that meeting, like I said, she was excited. She said we must meet every week. It was a few changes that I had to make. They also tell you what changes you must make. And then the next step is then to send it back to them. And then they can say, okay, this is good enough, apply for ethics. Right? So that was the next step. And they'd given me a very small time frame to do that. And she said, no, she feels like I can meet that time frame. It was 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was less than a month. And she was like, we can meet every week. I know we can do it. She stopped responding to me again. I did my part.
She ghosted, basically.
We were supposed to have a meeting the following Tuesday. I emailed her on the Monday. I'm asking her, are we still meeting? What time are we meeting? She's like, oh no, her child is sick. She can't make it. Because I'm an understanding person, you're a mother, your child is sick. I fully understand that my research is not more important than your child, right? And then I'm like, okay, can we reschedule then? You let me know when you're available. She doesn't say anything about her next availability, so I follow up the next week because I don't want to be a nuisance again. I'm like, can we please meet? I'm at a conference this week. Now I'm running out of time.
And there's that under a month where you need to submit. There's that under a month
that I'm doing my part. Now I've also sent her the work. I'm like, you know what? Because we don't have time to sit down and do the work together, let me do it and then you just review it on your side, right? So that's what I'd asked her to do, but she didn't have capacity now because she's now at this thing. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm tired. That's when I actually made it.
Where is your co-supervisor in all of this? Or she doesn't have much say, or...
There was this hierarchy. I feel so you couldn't go to the other one. I don't want to speak about that, but I felt like there was this tension between them that I didn't want to step on anyone's toes.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? Let me just address this person because she was copied in all the emails, so she could see all the communication.
Okay.
If she did want to step in, nobody was stopping her from doing that. So if she didn't want to, she didn't want to. I couldn't force her.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when I decided that I actually need to drop out. And it was a very hard decision because I've never given up on anything in my life. And I believe in finishing things that I started, right?
Yeah.
So it was a long conversation that I had with myself. I felt very guilty. I was like, Wile, you're funding. This is not the worst thing to happen to you. Literally just persevere. You can finish this. You've already started. Like all of these things, the Begazela hand in me came in. And I was thinking of our mothers. I'm like, this is the life they've been living for years.
Yeah.
Certain cycles need to end with us. And that's when I decided that this is actually going to end with me. If a situation that doesn't serve me, I leave.
Yeah.
I don't need to stay in situations that no longer serve me as much as other people say, because there were people that were saying, no, let's just see it through.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. Don't give up. And I kept telling them, I'm not giving up. My plan was always drop out, apply again under a different supervisor. That was always my plan.
Okay.
I was not just going to drop out and then hope for the best.
So with you guys at Vets, there isn't like a process where you can like just switch supervisors.
The problem was that it was a different faculty. So I was in health sciences and now wanted to come to humanities.
So
and I wanted to change topics because that topic also traumatized me now.
Okay.
So I wanted a clean slate all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the option was there to change supervisors if I wanted to and keep the topic. But everything about that topic, the supervisor, I was just like, I actually just want a clean slate. I want to start again. I can't continue under these circumstances. And then, I spoke to a few people just to share my thoughts. And honestly, I just wanted them to validate my feelings, which they didn't, because they know that I'm not a quitter. They were just encouraging me not to quit and. But I felt it so deeply in my heart that I need to end this cycle.
Yeah.
I desperately need to end it. And I decided one day, because I'd already passed also the due dates for submitting that
Yes, I was about to ask that to say what happened. Did you just keep quiet also?
I had to go and email the department and say, look, I've done my job. I'm waiting for my supervisors. Can you please give me grace? And they extended it for me, shame waits. But still I was like, okay, I didn't even tell them that I had an extension because I knew that, So I still told them that, okay, can you please work on it? So I was still trying to pursue that relationship. We passed that second extension that they gave me and I was like, this is actually not going to work, especially for my mental health. It was taking a toll on my mental health and I was like, I actually can't do this anymore. And then November, I actually spoke to the department and the dean before I actually told them that I was planning to deregister. I told them that, look, my supervisors are not very supportive. And they knew that because during the year, they were not helping me with certain things. So I always had to go back to faculty and say, okay, what are the steps for actually submitting a proposal? My supervisor should know this and they should be able to assist me with this. I don't need to go to a dean to ask for help with such things. But they were so unresponsive that my issues were escalated the whole year because nobody knew anything in that department.
Yeah.
So the dean knew that I had problems with my supervisor. So I was able to reference that then in my email to say, look, I really want to drop out, to deregister. This is not who I am as a person. Like I'm not a quitter, but I have to make sure that they know that.
They don't think it's not on you.
It's not on me. It's really not on me.
It's
really not on me. And he didn't say anything. I think he then went to speak to my supervisor on the side. But luckily, I then emailed my supervisor the following day and told him that, look, I have decided to deregister. I've spoken to the faculty and this is the process. They've sent me the deregistration form. I've filled it in and I'm going to send it. I just need a signature from the dean. And I'm good to go. She responded in 10 minutes. I hadn't heard from her in weeks. She had been ghosting me for weeks.
All of a sudden, you went out and there's a quick response.
She says, can you take a call? I didn't respond to that. I never spoke to her ever again from that email. So she then started saying
to date.
I haven't spoken to her.
Shucks.
Because I was just like, you know what? When I decide that's ngiyaphuma kuwe, oh, I will make sure.
You were just
I'm just like, I
this.
gave you so much grace.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
There's no way. So she's like, no, are you able to take a call? And then my co-supervisor then called me, right? She spoke to me. She tried to reason with me for 20 minutes. It was a long call, and I was even crying on that call. And because I knew that I felt the weird dynamic, I was able to give her grace. Like, this is not helpful. I don't blame her at all for anything, right? So I was able to talk to her and tell her that, look, I've really tried, and she's like, look, I can then come on and be your main supervisor. Like, I don't want to put you in that position. I don't want to put you in that position. I really respect you as a professional, and I want you to go far. I don't want you to
step on other people's toes.
To step on other, I must be careful what I say. But yeah, I think for the sake of, and she's like, no, you don't have to worry about that. Because I'm a very honest person, unfortunately. So I told her that I feel like there's a weird hierarchy dynamic between you two. And she's like, no, I think it's all in your head. Don't worry about us. Like, it's really fine. I'm like, I wouldn't be happy with that decision. I wouldn't be at peace with that decision. And don't ever feel like this is on you. I assured her. Because even after I sent her the email telling her that I'm dropping out, I sent her an email on the side and say, please don't ever feel like this is about you. It's really not about you. Don't feel bad. I'm not doing this because of you. I'm not giving up on the dream. I'm still going to apply. And thank you so much for the times that you were able to help me. Because when she did help me, she was very helpful. And so I never spoke to her again. I deregistered. When I tried to deregister, they're like, oh, you've passed your first year, so you can't deregister. Like, you're holding me hostage at this point. So just
like I'm a prisoner to the education system.
I'm like, no, guys, please can I deregister? But no, your form is null and void. The year is over. The exams board has sat down. You have passed your first year. You're on to your second year. You'd have to... It's not deregistering. You just apply. Just don't register the following year.
So okay, you just defer your
you just defer. Yeah. But they didn't tell me like that. The whole thing was so blurry. I had to figure it out as I went. But it was so stressful because I had to think of things like funding, which I'm then going to bring the NRF conversation. Had I got an NRF, I was going to have to pay those people back.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So they give you big money, but they're very strict about their money.
They're very strict about their money.
Okay.
So because I was funded by WITS, because that was the first thing I had to think about, that if I drop out, what are the implications on my finances? Do I have to pay this money back? Or because if I had to pay it back, I was gonna try and see the process through because where am I gonna get the money?
Yeah.
But with WITS, I mean, it wasn't that much. I mean, I think it's about 60,000. It's not that much. NRF was going to be over 100,000. Yeah. So I had to consider those things. And when I spoke to WITS, they're like, no, you don't have to pay us back, but we'll subtract that whole year of funding. So you'll be left with 2 years of funding.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, perfect. That I can work with. I can forfeit a year of funding if I do need funding for the third year because maximum is for a PhD is 3 years.
Guys, no. Minimum is 3 years.
We are prescribed 3 years full time for a PhD.
Okay, and you're doing full time.
I am doing full time.
Oh, okay,
yes.
No, that is full time definitely. I think 3 years makes sense.
I think it's the same, hey? Full time, part time is the same.
No, guys,
thing.
We work.
I'm also working. It's
we are 9 to 5ers. We answer to people. No, but I hear you. 3 years is decent. If you push yourself, I think it just means you need to like block almost every other thing and lock in.
Exactly.
Okay, and then how do you get to the part where you re-register again and now the spark is back? Now you have a new supervisor. Now you're excited.
Life is good.
You know, tell us about that.
Yeah, so the January I actually WhatsApped my master's supervisor and I tell her that this is what I went through. I'm so traumatized. Do you by any chance have capacity to take me on again? And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this. She's like, definitely, I'll take you on.
Okay.
Tell me what you want to look at. And she told me what her current interests are, right? So she's a research psychologist, neuropsychologist. So she's in the neuroscience space.
Okay.
And that's what my honors and masters have been in the neuroscience space. So I know I'm called to be in that space, but I was so bored. I was like, let me do something different.
One thing that I've learned is that when you're cold, you can
run away.
You can do whatever.
Go back there.
You will find yourself back to where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. So, because it was so easy. When I went back to where I was supposed to be, the whole process was so easy. I told that this is my plan. I want to put together a concept paper. Oh, that woman. Listen, the day I'm successful, I owe her my life.
Okay.
She went through that concept paper with me. we would do back and forth, saying fix this, fix that, so that you can be assured they will accept this. Because even if you have someone on the inside, they still review it. It still goes through 3 reviewers, externally, internally. So it's a very strict process. So because she knows the process, she took me through all of that before I even officially applied.
Okay.
So she was very responsive. I would send her a concept paper today. In 2 days, I have a response.
Nice.
And she gives detailed feedback. She won't say, okay, I read your whole thing. She goes through every sentence. Remove this, delete this, put the full stop here, put the comma here. Like that's how detailed she is. And she's such an amazing woman. So I was able to then apply. The waiting also took long. I don't like waiting. I think God has spoiled me too much. He gives me everything I want when I want it. So this whole season of my life, it was a very trying moment, especially spiritually, because I felt like God, he was risking with my life. Because, education is so important to me. You have taken that away from me. Waiting is not my strongest suit. You're making me wait. So I waited over a month to get a response. And in my head, I'm like, I shouldn't wait a month. I already have someone who's going to supervise me. So why are you taking so long?
Yeah.
And then I followed up once. They're like, no, I mustn't worry. They're still reviewing it. And but I'm sitting, it's the beginning of the year. I feel like my life has no direction. I can't sit not knowing what my year looks like because I'm such a planner, right? And then they finally accepted me, I think, end of Feb.
Okay, nice.
When I applied in June, and then I started officially. The registration actually was also a process. I tried to register. I couldn't register because I was apparently I'm still registered for another PhD.
Oh, okay. So now you can't have two at the same time. So they can't have two
at the same time. They had just said, just ignore it and register. So I'm like, guys, you had said this last year. Now I'm trying to register for a new PhD and I can't do that. They're like, okay, no, we'll sort it out on our side. Don't worry, we'll just remove the year on our side and then you can register. And that was a smooth process as well. And then I got accepted. I was able to register. Straight away, I started on my proposal. Okay. I started writing. I found my co-supervisor because I have this AI element to it. I needed someone in computer science because my supervisor is only in the neuroscience space. And she was able to suggest a few names, but I also went to go and look at the VITS comp sci lecturers and say, And he was so nice. She was like, you know what, because I have a relationship with this person, let me introduce you to them and tell them that this is the project you want to do. Would they be interested? And he was like, no, sure, he's interested. Because I didn't think nerds, like computer science, serious people would be interested in like a psychology topic. Like I don't care about creativity.
It's so crazy how oftenly we overthink things, right? And we're like, oh my God, I don't think a psychologist and a lawyer could cook up something really good. Yeah. But when you then engage a person or when you actually ask, that scripture that says, ask and it shall be given. Literally in everything. You just have to ask. And like a special shout out to your supervisor or even supervisors out there who are always able to link their students with further opportunities or make life very much easier. Time went by so fast. It's time in closing, I want you to share with us your favorite researching tools that have made your research journey easy or rather easier, and a word for a person at home who is seated there in a situation, maybe their supervisor ghosted them, maybe they don't have funding, maybe they can't start their proposal. What would you say to them?
My favorite tool at the moment is AI. I hate to say no, but you need to use it. You even said in one of your previous episodes, use it responsibly. I use AI to gather information for me so I don't have to read through articles one by one. Because psychology is a lot to read. I'm not going to read 500 million articles. I don't have time for that. So I will upload the article on there and say, give me a summary. What was this research about? What are the findings? What are the limitations? So it really helps me to condense my readings. I don't need to read that much. What else do I use? Google Scholar. I use the normal things. I don't go over and above.
You don't have anything special?
I don't have anything special.
I thought you had something special.
And then next month I use the regular Google Scholar and just the regular AI. But I would recommend people to use AI. Okay. Not to write the research for you,
but prompt it well. Like as a PA, I always say
literally as a
use
PA.
it as a personal assistant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then my one word, just know your why. When you know your why, you can get through anything. Okay. I know why I'm doing my PhD. I just want to be Dr. Mom, but that's my why.
It's for vibes.
It's for vibes, but that is literally my why. That's what keeps me going. I will get through hurdles, even with great supervisors. I know things are going to come up. Ethics will probably give me a headache. Field will probably not go well, data collection, but I know that at the end, this is for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else. It's for me. So I have no choice but to get through the process and to finish it. So yeah, man, just know your why.
Okay. Thank you so much for honoring my invite. This was so cool. I love engaging people who are not lawyers because it stretches my mind to think differently. To everybody at home, if you have questions for Ngobile, leave them in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And tell us your research stories.
Yeah,
how has been your first year? What's going on there by postgrad? See you in the next episode.